Hello, it's Lisa here. So today I want to talk about how intuitive eating feels like, or how normal eating feels like. And this is very interesting subject because I remember like before I had eating disorder and everything, and I was searching about recovery. And I remember I was reading this one forum post. I don't remember where it was from. I would love to find it because yeah, this was one of the things that helped me to see that, oh my god, like I want this kind of thing. Like this is like the goal I really want to have, instead of the perfect eating or the perfect weight or whatever. Yeah, and my goal was to get to that point what this person described. And when I read this forum post, she told things like she can eat when hungry and stop when full, and she doesn't think about food. She can do whatever else she wants, and she's not obsessed. She doesn't feel guilty. She can eat like salad or ice cream or cake or pasta or potatoes or fruit and just whatever kind of food. And she doesn't differentiate between like good and bad foods, and it didn't like cause her any digestive issues. And yeah, she just like described it, and I felt like, oh my god, like honestly I didn't almost believe her. Like to me it sounded too good to be true, because when I was at that point, like in my eating disorder, I was so obsessed with foods. Like the food was everything, like the only thing I was thinking about, like all day and all night. And I was binging, I was overeating, I was trying to control it, but I couldn't, and I was just lost. I didn't know like how my body just wasn't working normally. And yeah, for example, I had my boyfriend, and I knew that he is like an example of normal eating or intuitive eating. Like he was eating everything, and like healthy or unhealthy food, it doesn't matter. And he was eating like a normal portion, maybe like 3 times a day. Sometimes he would like skip a meal. It didn't matter to him. Sometimes he can get like very hungry, but it didn't send him to like binge eat. And he just didn't have any obsessions around food, or like he wasn't, the food wasn't a priority in his life. And if I saw it like in my eating disorder and recovery, I knew that it can be actually possible, but it was very hard to believe. So the purpose of this video is to just remind you all the time that intuitive eating is possible, even though for you maybe it seems like out of reach, or you have completely lost touch with your hunger cues. You don't even know what is intuitive eating or normal eating or how it feels like, or you don't even believe that you can recover. But if I recovered and I thought it's not possible, then you can recover too. So today I just want to describe you as I was reading this blog post when the person was describing her normal eating. I want to make this video for you and describe how the normal eating or intuitive eating feels like for me. So maybe you can, like in my recovery, I did this like visualizations, and I felt like I tried to imagine what it will feel like to be fully recovered, to just eat normally, eat when hungry, stop when full, and not think about foods all day. So maybe if I can help you to just imagine that you can be this recovered person, and I can describe for you how the normal eating or intuitive eating feels like. But of course, like everybody can be different. Everybody, the normal eating can feel different. And this is just like my example. So anyway, like my eating and food, yeah, I don't think about food all day. I am more focused on doing the stuff I need to do that day, or even if I don't have anything to do, or maybe I'm just tired, I can just be lazy also. I can watch movies, I can read book, I can go out with my friends or do something. And I'm not eating out of boredom, I'm not eating out of like emotional reasons. It just doesn't happen because I believe like my body is just back to like normal and energy balanced, and my hunger hormones are not out of whack. And yeah, so it doesn't matter like what's going on in my day. Am I busy? Am I bored? Am I emotional? Or do I have like a stressful period? I don't turn to food. I don't the food is not like my main priority. Yeah, and of course I can eat when hungry and stop when full. Sometimes I can like overeat or whatever, but it's never the type of overeating what I was experiencing when I had eating disorder or even in my recovery. For example, like last month we had this birthday party in one like country house like away from town, and there was like so many people, and the birthday woman, she made so much food that day. Like she's a very good cook, and she made like all kinds of dishes, like savory dishes, sweet dishes, and we were like going to sauna, we went to hiking, and also we were like eating like all the time. But it all tasted good, and I tasted everything. It tasted great, and yeah, so maybe you would like think that, yeah, but you like overate. But the thing is, like, I never ate to the point I was like physically sick or whatever. But yeah, because there was like so many food, then normally I wouldn't like eat so much. But because it was like birthday party, I just ate because everything like sounded delicious. And yeah, but at the same time I was telling them like, no, like that's it, like I'm not hungry anymore, and I didn't want to eat like over this like fullness, because like I would never eat until I'm like sick or anything. But my point is that yes, in like 95% of the time you will eat when hungry, stop when full, but sometimes there is this like rare occasions when you eat maybe like over your fullness. And even for normal eating, that's normal, and it doesn't mean you eat to the point when you're like physically sick. At least like for me it never happens. And in my day-to-day life I can't just eat when hungry, stop when full. I never feel like I want to overeat or binge eat or just eat like cakes or pasta or candy or like in large amounts. And yeah, and even now, like sometimes, for example, like today, I don't know, like I haven't eat like much today. It's already like afternoon. I ate like a small breakfast, and just now I finished like a whole package of chips. And it doesn't happen. I don't even remember when was the last time I ate like a whole package of chips, but right now I just ate it. Like no problem. I don't even know like how many calories, but this is basically my lunch, and it doesn't like matter. And most days I eat very like a healthy, balanced way. I eat lots of like fruits like vegetables, but also like all other foods I want. I can go and eat in a restaurant or cafeteria or in other people's like houses, and it doesn't matter, and I just choose whatever I like. And at the same time I can say that sometimes I'm not hungry, and I don't have to eat when I'm not hungry. I basically just follow my hunger. If I'm hungry, I can eat however much I want, but if I'm not hungry, I don't just force myself to eat. For example, like when we were in this like birthday party and I ate so much because the food was delicious and food was like everywhere, and yeah, there was like no problem with it. Then, for example, the next day I just wasn't hungry, and I knew by logic that I ate so much yesterday, so logically thinking like I just follow my hunger and this is my body just balancing out. So, but as soon as I was hungry, I was eating again, or I can just eat like a small breakfast or whatever. So I have seen this happen many times, being like fully recovered. Your body will balance out the hunger. Like if sometimes you eat more or you eat very late at night, then I see that sometimes for the next day I'm just not so hungry, and I trust it. And I don't have this good and bad foods mindset, and yeah, I don't differentiate between an apple or a cake. For me, it's all the same. It only matters what I crave each day or what sounds appealing. Or for example, today I think I just was too lazy to prepare something and I can eat like a bag of chips. But I also want to say that in intuitive eating, like, you can use your nutritional common sense. And what it means that I don't want to eat every day like bag of chips. Like, by common sense, I know that I won't feel so good by doing just that. And for example, like in this morning, I made like a juice, like a fresh juice with vegetables. So it was a totally like healthy meal, or like raw meal, or like whatever, just because I had the ingredients and it sounded good and delicious. But it doesn't mean that now I'm only this like eating clean, and I don't set any rules. It's not like if I start my day with a fresh like raw juice, and then I should stick with it for the rest of the day. Otherwise, I'm gonna ruin like my diet with a bag of chips. Like, no, like you just have to basically like follow your hunger, follow your body, follow your cravings, and you will eat in a balanced way and nothing bad happens to you. And if you would give yourself like a physical and mental permission to eat whatever you want, and you just have like this basic nutritional common sense and you use it, then actually you will eat like a very balanced and normal way, without using any willpower, without the rules, without restriction. And yeah, and you can be balanced and aligned with your body, your hunger signals, and mentally you won't develop all the like eating disorder symptoms, like the food obsessions, like the massive amounts of cravings or guilt. And also my weight stays very stable. I don't weigh myself, but I just like see like in my clothes, like I wear the same clothes that I did like 2 years ago. So it doesn't matter. Just like mentally, all the eating disorder symptoms are not there. Like, I don't feel guilty, I don't feel shame, I don't compare my body to somebody else's. Yeah, I don't have this fear anymore what I had even in my recovery, about like, if I'm gonna allow myself to have all this food, like all this like extreme hunger, then oh my god, like what's gonna happen to my body? It's gonna be so unhealthy. Because if you have seen my videos, I've already said many times that in my recovery, like, I wasn't eating intuitively, and intuitive eating is not the same as recovery, because in recovery you will have extreme hunger, you will have extreme cravings, and maybe some people will eat like 10 bags of chips, and for them it's very scary. And yes, like no normal eater will eat this way, but at the same time, like, you come from an extreme restrictive past. And to compensate for the past, your body has to first go through the extreme hunger, follow the cravings, eat all the foods it has been deprived of, and by doing that, it will actually get back to balance. Your cravings will disappear, your food obsession will go away, your hunger cues will be in balance, you will reach to your like healthy normal set point weight, you will have healthy metabolism, hormones, like everything will go back to balance. Of course, I want to be realistic and tell you that even after eating disorder recovery, like, people can have health issues and people can have like bad life experiences. It's not like if you recover then everything will be like glorious and no problems with your health or whatever. Like, people can still have, for example, maybe some anxiety issues or whatever, or they can have some problems with their family, or maybe they have I don't know, whatever types of health issues. But it doesn't mean that you cannot be first fully recovered from eating disorder, and it will be way easier to deal with the other problems. But anyway, I just want to paint like a positive but also realistic picture for you about recovery and how the intuitive eating is, and normal eating. And so maybe you can have this like positive but realistic picture for you, like for the future. But I can say from my own experience that even until this day, like I am so thankful of my experience of eating disorder and now being fully recovered, and I have the ability to eat normally, like just eat intuitively, and like with no obsessions. Like I can eat when hungry, stop when full, and it just feels so normal. And I still remember the crazy days of eating disorder, and this is like a miracle, like compared to that, like compared to this past. Like life without eating disorder is such an amazing life. It's way easier. Like you can travel, you can just be with people, you can eat and go out and do whatever you want, and you are not focused on food or obsessed about foods, and it feels truly like a freedom. Like there is the food, or your fear of weight gain or the eating disorder thoughts are not holding you back anymore from from your life. Basically you can live your life. And yeah, so this is what I wanted to say. I think I will end this video now. I hope you got some inspiration, some glimpses of how intuitive eating or normal eating feels, or how life would be like after recovery. I don't know. You can tell me what you think, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.